I arrived home, beat and exhausted. The tea's effect had faded, and I was now back to my old self, trudging up the stairs to my one-bedroom apartment. I almost thought how great it was to be home, until I saw a passed-out junkie on the walkway just outside my door. Cassandra was at her father's, staying at his Malibu beach house, with that bitch of a stepmother, Kelsey. It should be me living there with my family, but instead I'm stuck here, old and alone. Seeing my grandma's estate again only intensifies the pile of shit that was my life. But at least I would see Cassandra in the morning. I missed her. Just as I went to open the door, I got a text message. Cassandra. Hi Mom, hope you got home okay. Going to stay with Dad for the week. Kelsey got me a horse and is taking me back riding up Napa Valley. I hope you don't mind. See you later. My hands shook as I read the message. She had been spending so much more time with her father lately. It wouldn't be long until she fled for college, leaving her lonely mother behind. She had grown up so damn fast. As I opened my door, there were footsteps at my back. It was a delivery man. Miss Taylor, the man said. He was holding a box. Yes, that's me. I have an urgent delivery for you. This box. And a freezer. The freezer is still in the truck. It was her. The despicable old bag did not get the hint. I did not want her path. But I also did not want my mother being dragged around inside a box truck for the foreseeable future. Bring it up, I said reluctantly. I would get her back to the cemetery somehow. Yes, ma'am, he said, retreating down the steps. I entered my apartment and examined the box. It had been sent overnight from England. I ripped it open and inside was a letter and 8 small teacups. They were all identical. I opened the letter and began to read. Dear Teresa, I am sorry that we parted company under such unsavory conditions. However, I do not hold it against you. What you saw is shocking and difficult to understand. But if you are reading this, then you know that I have arranged for a freezer to be delivered. Yes, your mother is inside. If this angers you, then please send me a message and I will have her placed back in the cemetery. However, if you choose to follow in your ancestors' footsteps, there are some rules you must follow. As I continued to read, the man came into the apartment with a freezer. Where do you want it, ma'am? In the back room, please, I said. And the man put it there and plugged it in. I signed for it and he left. I continued to read. 1. Conserve. To make your supply last, you must pace yourself. It can be extremely intoxicating to spend every day in youth, but you must restrain yourself. You will understand soon enough. 2. For your mental well-being, I strongly suggest you begin to put your distance between you and Cassandra. It is in her best interest not to know the truth. You may need to move away, as I did so many years ago. 3. Safeguard the cups. If they are broken beyond repair, the gift is extinguished. 4. A piece of flesh no bigger than a penny is all that is needed. Steep the bag 3 times. Each bag can be reused to make 30 cups. Every part of the body will work, including bone. Let nothing go to waste. 5. The first cup will have a very intense effect. Be prepared. Your body will go through a drastic change in a very short period. I suggest being alone. 6. Create a nest egg. You will need lots of money. Use it to develop some alternate identities. Hire only people you can trust with your secret. Like Jeffrey, pay these people handily to keep your secret. 7. When Cassandra passes, you must relay our secret to your granddaughter. Give her the rest of the cups I have included and tell her our method. The gift is in your hands now. That is all. Everything else will come to you in time. I hope you decide to visit. We have much to discuss. Remember, my door is always open for you, Teresa. With love, Grandma Terry. I put the letter down, my hands trembling, and rushed to the bathroom. I bent over the toilet with an urge to vomit, but it never came. When I stood up, I looked deep into the mirror at the woman I had become. Without the tea's beneficial effect, I was reverted to my previous self, old and weathered, haggard from the years of abuse I inflicted on my body. All that partying from my 20s caught up with me, and I had lost everything. Now I was just another middle-aged woman, lost in the endless sea of ordinary people. And I hated ordinary. Gone were the days as a teen where time was spent laying in the sun, tanning my golden body, endless free vacations and gifts bought by men who barely knew me, all vying for my attention. The meteoric rise up the California social scene, where I was someone, making waves with the rich and famous. Then I got pregnant and everything came crashing down. My body was ruined, and along with it, all my aspirations. Cassandra's father was a successful Hollywood producer, a pretentious asshole who dumped me as soon as he found out. With no formal education or job prospects, I was left penniless to raise my daughter on my own. Only years later did he come around and become the now doting father. He proceeded to spoil her rotten, garnering her favor, while I was left dealing with the most challenging portions of parenting. Cassandra, oblivious to the struggles I endured as a poor single mother, came to love her father, and why wouldn't she? He could give her anything she desired, and now she barely came to see me anymore, spending ever more time with her new, hip stepmother. All the while, her mother rotted alone, working a crappy minimum wage job, living in a shitty subsidized apartment. I screamed and then cried. Cried until there was nothing left but anger. I went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and moved slowly into my bedroom. The compressor hummed. Was she really inside? I took a deep breath and pulled the hatch. Inside was my mother, crammed in the fetal position. It was the only way to fit a body inside. To my relief, her head was covered with a black hood. After a brief hesitation, I went for it, slicing a small piece of flesh from her forearm. It was easier than I had expected. I shut the freezer and went to the kitchen, where I pulled a coffee grinder from the cabinet. I ground the flesh into a powdery mix, exactly how my grandmother had done. Then I wrapped the powder in a small napkin and steeped it in some boiling water. I had brewed my first cup of tea. It was brown and smelled foul, but I salivated with anticipation. He will lust for me once more. However, this time, it will be his life that is ruined, not mine. I sat back, thanked my mother, and took my first sip.